treat for you.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but I wanted to be like, you should say.
Happy birthday, girl.
You don't have to know. I just mean like it'd be a gift if you could say. So that's great. I mean,
Well, happy birthday.
I swear, I wish I was 100 years younger. I'd fly out there and marry you.
What did you just turn? 22?
43.
Get out of here.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I mean, for that age,
Forget
I'll
about
tell you,
it.
baby, whatever it is
Whatever
you're
you're
taking,
doing.
I want some.
Whatever you're doing, keep on doing.
Okay. It's probably because I look like Antifa. I don't know. Maybe that's part of it.
Hey,
I
Rick,
got gray hairs.
The cool thing about this is you could be stealthy. See, you could go in there and pretend to be one of them, and
if they
good
didn't
cover. Good cover.
here, like if because they know me, Audra
yeah,
Moore.
problem.
So,
Yeah,
like if I went somewhere else, definitely. But yeah.
Audrey, and the other thing that I was touching on, and I want to ask you because you're out in the streets and you're reading this, and when I go out, I'm like a computer, and I went and spent some time town to town, very wealthy areas and areas middle class and areas where it's poverty stricken, and I went to each one of the Dollar Generals in those areas.
Oh.
To see how the stores looked inside, the type of people working there, the cars coming in, and in all the areas. And I saw a lot of similarities. So it's across the board.
Yeah.
And I think massive layoffs now are affecting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I have people in my neighborhood, and the homes in this area, very expensive. And I have one, and I'm going to be very careful how I say it, but let me just say this. They're on welfare right now. Okay? On welfare. And I really don't want it to go into more than that. But what I'm trying to say is we're going into the next phase of the frog in the pot. And that's where I think the chaos is really going to get crazy. I think the level of false flags is going to increase significantly. As I was telling Michael, this whole false flag with the shooting in Nashville is timing. They do it every time with the elections and a debate. I guarantee you there's going to be take the guns at the debate. They fabricate it all. And I'm not watching the debate. First of all, to do a debate on the 10th before the 11th is sacrilegious to me. And they're basically telling you, that shows you they don't give a shit about us.
Right.
We're irrelevant. And if you need to get a better understanding of that, just listen to George Carlin once in a while. He explains it very well.
Yes, he does.
But are you seeing the massive explosion of this degradation everywhere you go? It just keeps increasing. Are you seeing it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's all, intentional and by design. That's why I try and tell people.
Yes,
exactly.
I mean,
we have to understand that, especially with the shooting. That's why I was like, this is a way to take our guns and come after the kids again, like in a whole other way. It's just interesting. They're saying he's 14. It's like, well, where, and then they're going to use that to be like, well, we can't show his picture because he's a minor. And it's like, yeah, because it wasn't.
They always do it. Always do it. And it's just like I was telling Michael. Okay, listen. So we're seeing how all these Venezuelans are in these cities, Aurora, Chicago, this and that. They now are with guns and weapons and taking over apartment buildings. Okay, number one, how did they get there? Who flew them there? Who drove them there? Where did they get the money? How did they get the guns? Okay, what am I, stupid? Our government is doing this, so it's planned.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And they're just like, oh my gosh, we can't do anything about it. Like, and then trying to say, oh, there's not really anything going on. We're here, we're patrolling, and I haven't seen anything. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, go ahead and continue to try and do that. But you guys, it's like a willful incompetence, like, oh my God, we don't know what to do. Either they're saying it's not happening or they're just saying there's nothing that they can do about it. And it's
There
like,
you go.
Okay, yeah, we just let it happen. So someone comes in your house and tries to do whatever, you're just going to sit there and be like, take it whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's okay. There's nothing I can do. I mean, that's why we need guns to be like, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? And you will protect your own. But I feel like they're almost like kind of setting like a stage 2 for people to be like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. And then like, I got to call somebody else to help me. And then nobody's there to help. It's just this like,
I'm not showing up.
yeah, no, they're not.
Did you forget 2020 where they stood down and let them burn down their police stations?
I know.
That's like someone came, they come through the neighborhood 8 years ago with those signs, support the blue. And they're like, wanted to put one in my yard. I said, no, 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 no. They're already supported. Their salaries, they're paid for. Their health is paid for. They get a pension in 20 years.
Right.
I said, when you come back and bring me a sign that says, support the taxpayer, he pays for it all, yeah. I'll put that sign up.
I know, right?
That's the brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
They lure you in just like they did with COVID, with the essential crap.
Yes.
Right? Zillow with Zestimate selling houses with pictures that were totally misleading. People buying houses on the internet. Right. And you wonder why it was a massive fraud. I mean, you can't make it up. Am I right?
I know. It's like, and I mean, it's still hard for people to see too, because I felt like a lot of them did during COVID. And then all of a sudden they lost all their like senses and they're kind of being hoodwinked again. And they don't, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't you see this? This is exactly what they want. And that's why there will continue to be false flags and all of those things up until, November. And I'm sure beyond that, because it's like, they're going to keep this charade up. They're not just going to give up. I mean, these people are hell bent on destroying stuff. And so they'll do destroy things just to be able to destroy it. You know what I mean? Like
even BLM.
Yeah.
They did a practice run in 2020 right. for the invaders that they brought in. Right. See, that's the thing I was telling Michael. They create the platform, the words and the sound bites and the argument, and then you guys line up like you're on a sports team and you shout back and forth at each other like abortion, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-choice, pro. It's a game. They've been doing it since the 80s. Wake up, you idiots. If you wanted to resolve abortion, get a real education system. The kids at 5 years old in China are learning martial arts and everything.
I know.
Self-respect, value, discipline. Yes. What are they teaching our kids in the school? How to perform oral sex and anal sex, right? Put them on liquid lobotomy, Adderall or Ritalin. Am I right or wrong?
That's right.
Tell me that's not intentional.
Oh, okay? It's absolutely.
So the government is causing abortions. The government is promulgating because we don't have a real education system. We are not treating our youth, our children, nurturing them to be scientists, chemists, whatever it is, and taking them to their ultimate potential. What we're doing is we're destroying them, never giving them a chance. Because truly in America, you at one time, go back in the 40s and 50s, could come out of anywhere, Section 8, the ghetto, middle class, wherever. And you could become whatever your dreams were.
Right.
Now they're eliminating it starting at 5. The Department of Education should have never been created. It's a large MLK, Nazi Zionist, psychological warfare program to destroy our future. Yeah. Okay? And that's what it's been used for. So stop shouting at each other. Your politicians are never going to do anything because they love having this there every election year. If you have a brain, hold them accountable and start telling them when they do a rally, you're the one creating abortion because our youth are distracted away from focusing on being something great by the poisons you put on TV, cartoons, media, social media, in the schools.
I know.
So that's the way I look at it. And the same thing goes for all these other issues. That you got to go to the source. You got to ignore the politician because they're just reality show characters, cartoon characters, and they're programmed to be pathological psychopaths from a young age.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if you go back and look at the history of Scamala or Biden or Bush or
Yeah.
Clinton, I mean, I could go on all day.
Yeah.
So we are headed in, and I am telling you now, and I was telling Michael, it's hurricane season. You got wars going on that are getting up to higher levels where it's going to be desperation over there in Ukraine. And Israel is getting slam dunked for all its war crimes and murdering of women and children in Palestine. Now they're injecting them all. Did you
I
hear?
know, with polio. Oh my gosh, they're
I
killing
mean,
us.
this is happening right in front of our face. But how dare you say that, Audrey, you anti-Semite? You're not allowed to say that. Do you see what I'm saying?
I
It's
know.
insanity.
I know.
And then the financial, the false flags. I mean, I'll tell you what, you better get some popcorn because this is
I
one
know.
of the show.
I know. It's
And
what-
you better be careful
yeah.
because you are on a list.
I know. I'm on many lists.
Yeah, but listen to me. There is a list
I know.
since 9/11
Yeah.
under the Patriot
Definitely on it.
that they've been developing. So when they do the martial law and it all explodes, they're going for them first.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of veterans, military, just a lot.
I would just change my hairdo and, I'm going to figure it out.
You
Right
know,
now, I kept it away. I'll figure something out.
that
just
is
shake my head.
brilliant. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Put on some spectacles, shorten up the hair,
For real.
go black, and
Yeah,
then
dye it a different color. Like, oh my gosh, yeah.
knee skirt, skirt. Go Amish route.
Oh my gosh, right? It'll be like, who is that? And I'll be like, ooh. I'll just have an accent, and just totally change. So that
What say you? What say you, Michael?
All right. Michael.
Said, I know this. I know a lot of veterans that are waiting for the signal. I know that. You got to remember there's quite a big
Well,
army.
be careful what you say being on a list there, pal.
I don't give a fat crap. I'm on the list. Good. Put me on another list, you bastard.
We're trying to get on every single list there is. So I bet.
I win.
I don't give a damn. It's like, what I was supposed to hide? I'm out on the street screaming for crying out loud.
Yeah, you have a
What am I
valid
hiding
point.
from? I'm sorry. I don't give a damn.
Just
You
start
have a
wearing
valid-
women's
Not in the
clothing.
foxhole. I'm standing on the edge of it. Just screw you. No, but I mean, I seriously, well, I'm sure Audra runs it because she's out on the street too, but I don't know anybody does what I do. Because nobody's nuts enough to do what I'm doing, to get out there on the street and actually talk to
This
people.
is true.
And I'd like a oasis in this liberal cesspool. People
Oh my
see
God, yes.
they come walking up to me like, oh, someone I can finally talk to. And so, I just let him talk. It's like it's like that FBI agent. I mean, it was like he was ready. He was just ready to spill his guts out to someone. The guy I spoke to the week before, who just got out of a meeting in Washington, D.C., type secret clearance, in charge of installations for security for installations across the country. What did he do? He just spilled his guts out to me. This is what's happening. This is, come on, this is what we're heading into, right? So, I mean, we need more town square. We need to be out on the damn streets. And we need to allow the people to see we're visible. If nothing else, just wear the colors. Whatever. Damn it, we're at a war. You don't go, if you're at a war, what are you going to do? You got two choices here, fight or flight. And there's no place to run to. This is it. We're boxed in. You fight. That's the only thing we got left.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I got to head out. I
And
got
I
some
know a
things that
lot
I
of,
got to get done today. But Audrey, what do you have going on?
Today, I mean, it's kind of a slow day. There may be a meeting after. No, there isn't because they're in person. I'm gonna, celebrate my birthday later and a friend who passed, and just keep, fighting the good fight. But today's a little bit slower. But actually, on tomorrow there is this. It's a judiciary hearing. It's like a meeting about the southern border. So like Jim Jordan and several people on his committee are going to come out for a legislative proceeding. They're saying that there's some people who are unknown that are going to be attending as well. So I don't know what that means, but I know they did say JD Vance was coming out, not saying that he's necessarily going to be there, but it'll be interesting because trying to get a bunch of people to go fill it's at Santee City Hall.
Good.
And so it should be a pretty good turnout. There's a lot of people interested. So I made a flyer to get people to show up so that they could participate, even though they're going to have some people speaking and kind of testifying. But we just want to have, tons of people there so that they can understand how, the people are really concerned about what's happening on the border.
well, this was
Exactly.
the latest article in Gateway Pundit came up the other day. Again,
Yeah.
every week San Diego's popping up. It's,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
They want to act like it's slowing down. It's like they're just coming in different areas. I have some friends who's live where they're coming in. And so, and it's like they can't do anything about it. They just have to basically let them come onto their property and deal with it.
well, they
And,
could do something about it, but you got to
Well,
hide the bodies.
Well, yeah, but then they'll be in trouble for it. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Well, if
crappy
you hide
part.
the bodies,
I know, right?
Think
There's a lot
hide
about
the
of
bodies,
places
there's nothing happened. Who? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. What people?
Michael, can you put that headline up again? I wanted to point something out, if you could. Now, illegals arriving from Jordan, Middle East, high security risk. China, high security risk.
And
And
India.
India, okay? Now, as I say all the time, let's look at this transaction and start from the beginning. Who is financing, bankrolling, and enabling these people to be able to get on a plane in their country and fly all the way over here? That's the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And then land where they're going, and then be able to provide brochures and information in their language
Yeah. Our government.
and those governments.
Yeah, they're both they're all working
working
together.
together.
United Nations, like
Thank you.
they're all because they want constant and regular migration.
Chaos,
They're calling it.
invasion.
Yeah, they put us in a compact
Yes. Yes,
in
exactly.
2018, and so it's like in 2018 that was signed.
Sanctuary cities should have never been allowed, should have been stopped. There are so many
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah, because that's how they
Should have been
keep.
stopped.
They're just like, oh, we can't share that information. Oh, we got to protect these people. Like there were several that were homeless here in San Diego at a Cesar Chavez Park. And just recently, the city council actually yesterday was talking about how, oh, this is very sensitive and we have to be very careful with these people. And so we put them in temporary housing. I'm like, F you. You do not treat the people who are homeless here with any kind of respect or dignity.
Yes.
You don't take it as a safety thing or being sensitive. You just come and take all their crap
Yep.
stuff and lock them up. And it's like, but you're going to treat these people different all because you're like, oh, it's so sensitive. F you. I was so pissed off yesterday when I'm like listening to them talk about it because it's like, I mean, for real, like you're going to sit here and act like we got to, but that's how they treat these people. We got to give them they have to be the first in the line. We got to just protect them. Yeah, he raped and murdered a little girl, but hey, it's okay. It would be bad to put him in prison. So we're
Yeah,
going to put him out on
sensitivity
the street.
training. Sensitivity. Haven't you gone to that class?
Oh my
You don't
gosh,
want
it
to.
is.
I gotta go. Listen, Audrey, it's great seeing you.
Great
Happy
seeing you.
birthday,
Thank you.
Michael. Thank you as always. And like I said, there are a lot of moving parts right now. Watch your back first and just pay attention because in the situation we're in right now, especially the financial markets, a black swan could occur because there's so much fraud that they're doing, so many moving parts. Only one has to trigger, and then the psychological effect and algorithms will kick in and the dump will occur. That's just reality. But God bless, Michael. Thank you again. And thank you for the opportunity with the video. And be safe. Be safe.
You too. See?
I want liberty, and liberty ain't safe.
Hey, I'm with you, brother. Believe me, I'm with you.
I really,
You know where I
it
come
annoys
from.
me to hear that. I mean, even the FBI guys, stay safe. They say, I'm fine. I'm out here. What's safe? Tell me where safe is.
You should have said to him, is that a threat? Is that a threat? You're FBI.
I know.
Liberty's not safe. I mean, it's not
It's
safe.
not.
You want liberty, you're going to have, it's a fight to keep it. And I'm sorry, safe is for the NPCs. Safe is for the cowards. Screw safe. I want to be in the battle.
Well, here we are, and it's going to get worse. So,
And just remember, this all went on in Europe 10 years ago. And I kept telling everybody, they do it there and then bring it here. They didn't listen. God bless. Love you guys.
God bless. Love you.
You let it.
And happy birthday.
Thank you.
You know it's your birthday.
I figured I could get him to stay for a minute if I said that. It's not really my birthday. I'm just joking. It is, but I just wanted him to stay for a minute. He always takes off, and it's like, is it because I'm here? He's like, I'm out of here. I know he has to go, but still, just nice to say hello for a minute.
No, I am. I'm sticking around when you're around.
Okay.
And so is he. You know,
Oh,
I said, it's very good.
it's craziness.
Yeah. So indeed, but speaking about what's going on, what's getting, right here, I'm just going to play a little bit of this Trump's mouth thing at the beginning here, because this is it's a bit of the first part of it. It's me on the bullhorn, just blasting out these crap, and these two guys from Chicago come along, and you can see them, but kind of like looking at me like, what the hell is this guy blasting out? What's he called? Because they're Democrats, right? These guys have been on the plantation for a while, but I'm blasting out truths that cannot be denied. So the conversation ensued from there. It was pretty cool. But I'm just going to play a little bit of this. Just give you an idea. Yeah. Pink.
Trump.
I'm going to start up.
See,
Wait. Hit that shop and bless you. Enjoy the video. We'll see you on the streets.
Because they have a large plantation there. And her father is a communist professor. So there's Kamala's democracy for you. She didn't get a single damn vote. But you moronic liberals want to come up and say you're going to protect democracy. You wouldn't know democracy if it came up and bit you in the ass. You couldn't get any more stupid being a liberal. I'm willing to talk. I'd love to have a talk, an intelligent conversation with a liberal. Here's the problem. There's no such thing. An intelligent liberal is an oxymoron. They don't exist. Now, if that offends you as a liberal, get over here and say, sir, I'm a liberal, and I'd like to talk to you about our liberal democracies and how it works. All right, I'm willing to listen. Are we better off now than we were 4 years ago? Is there less crime? Less homelessness? Are the prices more or less? Do we have more threats
from? Illinois.
Illinois. How close to Chicago? How close to Chicago?
From Chicago.
You from Chicago? I've been speaking to a lot of people from Chicago lately. I put up a video last week. 4 ladies from Chicago. They're absolutely up to ear with the illegal aliens on the street. They work on the street. And they're seeing all the money we're supposed to get going to them.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Tired of that shit.
I know. So I'm seeing a lot of people in Chicago going, what's going on here? Where's our money going? Why is it going to us? It's our money. We work. We paid into it.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Okay, no, so I'm here, though. What do you guys do up there? What do you do for work?
Maintenance supervisor.
Good. Keep things working.
Yeah.
That's real good. Same with you.
Truck driver.
Long haul or short?
Long haul.
Oh man, I love
Cars, I
talking.
haul cars.
Good. See, I like talking to long haulers because you guys get a good view of what's going on. You get a good take on what's happening across the country and whatnot. And I find out what you're hauling, how's what's going on because you like the blood in the veins. Stuff there, but I go on to talk about this guy. And at the end, it's sort of like they're apolitical. They're not going to vote for Trump, but they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris either, right?
So who are they going to vote?
Yeah, well, they're going to remain neutral. They're not going to vote at all, which is okay. That doesn't mean that takes a vote away. But they'll probably still wind up voting anyway because of the mail-in ballots, Or
that someone's going to vote for them anyway. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's. How do we vote? Can we vote our way out of this? We'll be the first nation in the history of the world to have ever voted our way out of tyranny.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice thought.
Yeah.
Like when the system is set up that way.
Well, originally it was.
I know. I mean, that's what the intention is, but like they've, usurped that and taken it over and made it so that, by design, you don't win. They get to put in whoever they want. It's an illusion of choice. So it's like, I mean, but it's going to take people fighting in their own communities to try and change the way that it's happening locally, right? You can't do it on a massive scale, but you can do it locally and then it can bleed out. But I feel like, people know it happens. And then the time comes to vote and you can tell people all day long, like go on the day of, make sure you don't open your mail-in ballot. You take it with you so that you can prove that you didn't vote because they're going to, but you want to check in when you get there and make sure it hasn't, you don't want to but instead people are like, well, I'm going to harvest the ballots. We're going to take everybody and we're going to put them in early. And we're going to do the same stuff the other people do. And it's like, if you don't want to take responsibility and take it seriously, then yeah, the shit's going to perpetuate, pardon my French, but it's going to continue and we're going to repeat history and over and expect a different result. That's insane. So, people actually really cared. They would do whatever it takes. Okay, I'm going to make sure I go in that day. But instead they're like, well, I can't make it. I got to go to work. So I'm just going to do it this way. Well, then don't bitch about it if it doesn't go the way you want, because you're not willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that you're doing what you need to make sure your vote counts. Because if you find that they've already placed your vote or you've already voted, then you can prove it with your mail-in ballot. And it's like, but people, they want the easy way out. And it's like, it's never going to be easy getting out of tyranny. You know what I mean? You're going to have to fight hard for it, but you're going to have to be intentional in your actions. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to frivolously do this again. Not her. Oh, but next time I'll make it, make it matter or whatever. But I mean, it's people's own responsibility to do that. And most of the time they're not willing to, even though they know that stuff happens. And that's why they'll even harvest ballots at churches and stuff. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Well, they do it. So 2 wrongs make a right. Okay, it's not how we're playing it. Instead of take them, have people Why would you want to do that with people? Because then it's like they're not caring enough to have their vote count. They're willing to just go like, we're just going to put a bunch in here in the mailbox and it's going to be 2 weeks early or whenever. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, that's what's annoying is that people don't take it seriously, even though they know, and then they want to bitch later because they feel like, oh, it's their fault. It's like, no, it's your fault because you didn't do what you should have done. You just don't like hearing that.
Well,
That's too bad.
you can avoid reality until
You can't.
the consequences of avoiding it smack you in the head.
Yeah.
And
like,
that's what we're heading for. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's like little by little that'll happen. Like they'll get little like pokes, you know what I mean? But it's not until it's like literally a smack in the face or something like that where it's brutal that they'll see. That's what's so like our attention spans are so short that they'll just, oh, I gotta go look at this now and then forget about that. And but I mean, for real, take responsibility. Like if you really care about your vote, then prove it. Don't just like, oh, I'm just going to vote and just, not do it the way we should. And then because then later I can like blame it on somebody else. No, that's your own fault because you're not taking it seriously enough. You want to, you act like you do, you say it, but your actions speak way louder than the words that are coming out of your mouth saying that you care. Prove it. Do what it takes. Even if it's hard. Like I just, it's like everyone wants this like scapegoat of a reason to, oh, well, I had nothing to do with me. It's like, are you sure about that? Are you positive?
The good news on that is people are. The reality is starting, the consequences of the reality is starting to hit a lot of people. And so they are waking up. But again, is it too little too late? Do they, are they going to do what you just said? I mean, perpetuate the insanity by what? Voting for the same people that got them into this problem. One of the things, of course, that is being quite evident to a lot of people, Kamala Harris up there saying, I'm going to fix the problems. Well, okay.
That I created.
Yeah. Yeah. Where you been? It's like, I mean, the obvious question to ask then is, well, excuse me, but you've been there for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. Why didn't you fix them?
I know. You haven't even been to the border and you act like there's nothing wrong there. Like,
yeah.
Okay. It's because she should be deported. That's why.
Well,
she can't bring light to it. She knows she's a hypocrite if she's like, we gotta get these people out of here. Yeah, so you got to get out of here too. Okay, let's deport you. That's what needs to happen. You're not even eligible for the position that you're in. It's a joke.
Well, she's not.
And people don't even see that. That's not true. Okay, whatever.
I mean, we can go back to Obama for crying out loud.
Yes.
The day his birth certificate came out, it was proven to be a forgery.
Right.
And
he's even said himself he's from Kenya and he's not a resident citizen.
Yeah. Well, but the point, I don't care where he was born. I mean, he could be born in Timbuktu for all I care. He puts out a fraudulent birth certificate. Right, that right there should disqualify him.
Right, exactly. But they're like, no, it was probably just an accident. I think
so
that's why you have to see how things are intentional and like what they brush under the rug. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, that's not a big deal. That's okay. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
And then it's like they'll bring in. That's why I wonder what was going on at that time for them to bait and switch and draw people's attention elsewhere, so that all of a sudden, by the time that it could really have done something, people forget and they've moved on to the next false flag type of thing. Whatever it is that I just can't like recall at the time, but that's what they'll do is they'll you bring something like that forward, then they have something else happening, so that you're paying attention to that. And then by the time the like waters kind of settled, you've forgotten about that or whatever. You're just moving on to the next. That's why they have to keep us inundated with all this stuff, so it's just constantly coming at you so that you're like, you can't just be still and go, okay, this is, ridiculous. But that's, the point of doing it is to keep people in a constant state of chaos so they can't get centered, and really think clearly. And, I mean, that's what they need is for us to be in that state of mind. And it's sad because we give it to them. We're just like, okay, it's like what's that shiny light? Oh, you're just following it wherever.
But have they gone too far with the gaslighting? I mean, has it reached a point of such absurdity that even some of the dumbest of the dumbest are waking up to it? I mean, no, there's going to be about 20%. It won't make any difference. You could shoot the truth into their veins. It wouldn't hit their heart or their brain. But I mean, it's some of the obvious lies and gaslighting that's going on is jaw-dropping now. And again, this gets to the point of mockery. It's like, either the left is, even the ones in charge are so, either their hubris has taken them to a point where they think they can go ahead and just do anything they want.
Yeah.
And hence mock us and get away with it. Or they're not clever enough to play another plan to, maybe pull back or move to the side or to the left or the right, or, know when to nuance to go ahead and initiate another plan other than the same old one that they've always done, because it hasn't changed. Because why? Why should they change it? It
works. Yeah.
So, but with the awakening on the other side of it, there is an awakening. We know there's an awakening. I mean, albeit we've been waiting it for a long time, albeit, is it too little too late? And we applaud everything that happens. RFK Jr. coming over, yay. Tulsi Gabbard, yay. Okay, good. Welcome aboard. The leftists that are coming over, yay, good, welcome aboard. Black Lives Matter, saying they're not supporting Kamala Harris, hey, welcome aboard. All these little things, all these bricks in the wall that we seeing. Well, this is all good and well. Of course, we've been saying, where you been? Where the hell you been? And now we're at the, not the 11th hour. We're like, 2 seconds away from midnight here. And will it be enough? Have they, as the left, will they be able to pull it off again? Will they be able to pull off the steal again? If indeed Trump gets in and they say, well, not going to certify the election, will we let them get away with that again? Because I can tell you this, I know, I mean, there are a lot of veterans and patriots that have now gotten to the point that they're gonna, if anything, I mean, they get their finger on the trigger, right? Let me put it that way. They have their finger on the trigger. They're ready to just bust loose. And they know who to go after, too. It's not like they're just going to go out there and start, shooting people. They know who their targets are. And they got those targets tagged. And if they should pull something off, like put Trump in jail on the 18th, it might happen then. If they pull off the steal, it might happen then. If Trump gets in and they try to deny him the presidency, it might happen then. But it is going to happen because there's a hardcore group of people in this country that will die before they will allow this country to be taken over completely. And when that happens, and I can say that it's more likely not an if, it's about more closer to when, whatever triggers that. Whatever comes out on the other end, or whatever, because once that happens, all bets are off. Because once you're in a war like that, it's the old best laid plans of mice and men kind of a deal. You just don't know. Things change rapidly in a situation like that, and unpredictably in a situation like that. So now, whether the powers that should not be have any plans for that scenario, I'm sure they've parsed it out. I mean, we parse it out. They're parsing it out. And why wouldn't you? I mean, if I was in their position, I'd be trying to cover all the bases to make sure that, they couldn't come and get me, right? Will their best laid plans also fall apart? Will some of the people that they are counting on turn the guns on them? Possibly. But when the dust settles, when it all comes out and we go out, let's say okay, we win. We wound up, rounding up or eliminating a lot of the bad elements. We're holding tribunals. We're executing these people. We're putting them in jail, and we're shipping a lot of them back to where they should be. What do we replace this corrupt government with? Because a lot of the people that are going to be targeted are already in our government. They're our enemies. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this position. They're not our friends. So once we just flush this toilet, what do we fill that toilet back? Or do we fill up the toilet? Do we fill up the sink this time? I don't know. And how do we go back into it? I mean, and if it comes about, I'd like to see it come about with why do we even need politicians? If we're going to rebuild this republic, why would we even need politicians to, at all then, to be re-corrupted? Because the same, again, it'd be the insanity of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right.
So if indeed we should come out on top of this, whatever, at the end of it, why wouldn't we just use the framing of the Constitution but eliminate all the politicians? We could keep an executive branch for being like spokespeople, to say, yeah, this is what the people want. And here I'm going to cut the ribbon, or I'm going to go to that ceremony. I'm going to do what people have to say. But and just cut the executive branch down to be a ceremonial head, as it were. Keep the judicial branch, the Supreme Courts, let's say, or, to make sure that we're working within the bounds, that we, the people, are working within the bounds of what the Constitution would say. But
they're not doing that right now. So that's kind of
indeed. That's why I said we flush them out too.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, when there's a flushing, the people that I know, I'm speaking, the people don't see but a fifth of the people I speak to out there in the street. There's some conversations I can't put up. I won't do it. So, so the people I'm speaking to out there know who to target, so it gets flushed. Everything gets flushed. So we have people's courts. We are the judicial system now.
Like grand juries type of thing?
Yes. I
mean, we'd have to educate people with the Constitution. Most people aren't even.
Well, most of those, but you got to remember,
that's why this can take place.
This happens, there aren't going to be a lot of people left around. The only people left will be the survivors who know what's going on for the most part. The ones that don't know what's going on are going to become casualties. The young, the old, the innocent, the guilty. It doesn't make any difference. There's going to be a great culling of the populace. It is inevitable in every war. And this one's going to be like no other war before it.
Yeah,
so the ones that are left are going to be somewhat more in tune with what's going on and how to go ahead and put things back together, and you're going to be more educated that, you know, about the Constitution, about how to make things work. And it's going to take some parsing out. But, you know, if in a best case scenario, we turn around, we come back with about a third of the population of what it is now. And most of the bad guys have been flushed out completely. The people that are left will have to constitute, put this republic back together, but with us in charge, where the Congress is us. We are the Congress. We present the bills. We parse them out. But there would be no more congressional elections anymore. Matter of fact, it might not even be a presidential election anymore. We might just appoint a new one every 4 years. We the people would. So, you know, we might have.
You'd all have to agree on who that would be.
Yeah, again,
A lot of people.
We could have an election for that if we want. Everybody could put their hat in the ring, and we could say, all right, you know. But you got to remember the executive branch itself would have lost a lot of power. The only thing they would be doing would be, you know, all right, you go over to Timbuktu over there and, you know, and have the state dinner or whatever the hell. But you aren't going to be doing no backroom deals. You ain't going to, because we're going to have a watch guy with you. You know, it's like you're just going to go over here to, you know, to cut a ribbon or whatever the hell you do when you're, you know, whatever you do. So we the people would be we the people with the power, not anybody else. And as far, I mean, when with this kind of a government, with that kind of a thing going on, you couldn't have lobbyists that now corrupt that one congressperson or senator or whatever, you know. You couldn't, the lobbyists couldn't corrupt it. And we would eliminate, it would be closest thing we could get to probably an anarcho-capitalist society, you know, with a, you know, a lot of our republic thrown in. So it'd be a structured anarcho-capitalist government, you know, a republic with, you know, kind of thing thrown in. At least that's my vision of what a perfect union, a republic would be. But to get to that point, none of the people in charge right now are just going to go, hey, sounds like a good idea. I'll give up my cushy job where I can make $175,000 a year, and then off the top make another couple of million or 3, 4, 5 million a year off of the insider trading and the deals I do and the money I get from the lobbyists. You know, I'll give all that up and I'll just become another citizen. That ain't going to happen.
No.
So these people have to be taken down. They have to be taken out. And then there's never been, in my knowledge in history, a peaceful revolution of that sort. So,
Well, like Dave, they're not going to give up all this without a fight. That's the thing. And then it's like, then I think about how they have underground, like the DUMBs and stuff like that, the deep underground military bases and or just their tunnels that they've created. And, you know, how many would potentially go down there to pretend to hide from whatever it is and then come back.
That'll become their graves. It'll become their tombs.
I mean, that would hope so. I mean, those then would have to definitely be destroyed.
Well,
In the
anything
process of-
anything that go into it will have an entrance. You seal up the entrance. Where are they going to go?
Well, who knows? I mean, they're connected all over the world. So it's like,
Yeah.
you may be able to go in here, but there's still an exit somewhere else, pretty much.
Well, yeah, and could we find that out if we were in charge? Yeah. It's
I
like,
mean, you don't
again,
have
like,
to-
you know, the people that if we win this thing, once we win this thing, they're going to have no place to hide because anything and everything they do, we're going to be aware of. It's not like we're not going to be having a, you know, there are whistleblowers, there are people already in the inside. I know them. I spoke to them that they're not, you know, they're stealth. They're keeping their heads down. They're low. They know what's going on. And so, you know, when the old crapola hits the fan, you know, they're going to let other people know where the escape hatches are. And so they can run, but they can't hide. That's it. And even if so, you got to remember there's still only a small percentage of them. Those
Yeah.
people do not constitute the majority. They are a small percentage. So it's not like we have to do a lot of work to go ahead and corral them. And they'll corral themselves by going into those things.
Right. For sure. Well, they're cowards too. It's like they're a bunch of pussies. I mean,
Yeah. And
really.
the ones they get to protect them, unless they're robots, which is why they want the AI, they're pushing for the AI autonomous robotic system to be coming in, because the robots are not going to turn on them. You know, they'll use that. And that's why this has to happen before all that implementation comes into play. So we're heading into times that have never, outside of maybe, Atlantis. I mean, we might be the next Atlantis. We wind up destroying ourselves if we should not. Or the best case scenario, thank you, Jesus. I'm glad to see you. Come on down. And he comes in and goes, I'm here, save the day, don't worry about it. And that's the only person in that cape, that, or the only white hat I know of that can do that. Would be Jesus himself to come on back and do it. So anyway, I'm just parsing out what I'm seeing, what I feel, what I hear. And I think, if more people, I think we could avert this if everybody just got out on the streets right now and made their point known and said, no, I'm not going to go this way. No is a very powerful word. I'm not going to lie. If everybody did what you do, show up, go to the council meeting and show up. Are you seeing more people showing up, or what's going on?
Well, meetings just started again after kind of a break. And so, I mean, not really, but we'll see. I mean, there'll be a board of supervisors next week. And then on 9/11, I'm going to read some names down at the Midway. They have a ceremony always. So that'll be after the Wednesday meeting. But I don't know. It's like, not really. I mean, people don't seem to care. They're going to be forced to care. You know what I mean? They're going to be forced into something that they don't necessarily want. But yeah, not really seeing like people just coming in droves like, oh, I really care about those. They all have set their minds on that it doesn't matter, that it's pointless. And it's like, well, I mean, if that's what you believe, then that's what your reality is going to be. But that's not, the truth. And, it's important for us to just continue to, have our voices be heard. Because that's the thing. When they want to silence them, when they want to keep us quiet, that's exactly when we shouldn't be. And we shouldn't just be allowing all these things to happen. But I do believe that as we get closer to the election, they're going to kind of be, forced to shit or get off the pot and, really just do so, quit acquiescing to all of the things. And, I don't know what that looks like. It could come in many forms. It could come in, say, they're going to steal the election, people being upset about that. It could be, many things, but depending on whatever it is, if he interferes again, it's like, don't do it again.
Yeah. Well, the good, the good, the bad of this is, of course, the good is he's come out in old Zuckerberg, comes out with his mea culpa, right?
I know, but it's like,
it's
sorry, I murdered your dad. Next
right.
time I won't let that happen again. You can get me for it then. Like, that's what I feel like is such a joke. When you see stuff like that, when it's like, you're not going to do it again. Okay. And we trust that. I mean, obviously.